What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review, where today I didn't want to go on without giving this album the full Fuck This Review treatment. So before it got too late, and I had more time to listen to this album, I wanted to do a full review on the Weeknd's Dawn FM. If you haven't seen my live reaction video, I'll put it up here. It'll be in the description box as well. This album is, like I mentioned there, this is one of my favorite albums of the year already. I think this is going to be album of the year. I'm not sure what's coming down the pipeline as far as everyone else, but this album exceeded all my expectations. And let me just say this first. I'm not the biggest Weeknd fan. Like, I just started, if you're a subscriber, you know that I just finished the trilogy. So this one was like it just blew my mind. Like, from everything, the production, the vocal performance was amazing. The theme of the album was amazing. The cover was amazing. Like, everything about this album, I feel like the Weeknd sewed up, hit everything. Like, he hit every check. He like had everything covered. And I just read today, and unbeknownst to me, that this is a part of a trilogy. He tweeted like, did you even realize you were in the second trilogy? After Hours, Dawn FM, and then I guess whatever comes next. I think that's just dope. But this one, by far, is my favorite Weeknd album. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Seeing as though I already did a live reaction to it, I just wanted to go through the album, track by track a bit, talk about some things I love, some things I didn't, and just talk about the album, So let's get into it. Before we start, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and become part of the fam. I got some pretty cool content over here. My handy dandy iPad. Let's start with the title track itself, Dawn FM, and to me, I thought it was a great intro to the album, sort of like an interlude. I thought all the interludes were great on here. This one, the Quincy one, Every Angel is Terrifying. I loved every skit. Jim Carrey outro. I loved every piece of thing that tied, and every piece of audio that tied this album together. But to start with Dawn FM, and then we go into Gasoline, which is probably one of my favorite tracks on here. If you're a subscriber, I always do at the end of the episode, best songs, worst songs, and best line. But this is definitely making it early. I remember, and I can't stop listening to this album every time. And just heads up, every time I listen to this album, I start from the beginning. Around this time, a week later, you digest the album, you pick the songs that you want, but I can't stop myself from starting at the top and just taking in the whole experience. It says a lot for the project itself. Like, it makes me want to listen to the whole thing. And Gasoline, I want to just talk about, fuck the song, right? I want to talk about, fuck what the song's about and all that. I want to talk about just his vocal performance on there. Someone needs to interview the Weeknd. Hopefully it's me. And just ask him about the music. What was going through your mind because I know this was recorded some in quarantine and things of that nature. And just the idea, what made you go with that voice? What made you go tackle that? It reminded me like some David Bowie type stuff. Just that late 80s techno kind of disco in there. Like, what made, it's 5 a.m. and I'm high again. Like, what made him go into that vocal tone? Because I never heard the Weeknd sound like that. And I know Weeknd is a great vocal performer, but I never heard him just play with his vocals that much. And just that alone makes me love this song. When I start the album, I'm starting at Dawn FM, I'm going into Gasoline, and I still get chills listening to it even after. I'm listening to this every day, mind you. Like, it's one of those. Like, I'm trying to dissect and hear things I didn't hear before, and Gasoline is one of those. Even at the end, as the beat's like tailing off, and it's just the beat's just grooving, and he does like this weird Vox kind of voice. I can't describe it. It's towards the end of the record. How do I make you love? That song, to me, listening to it, that flow that he has on there gets me every time. I think I'm not so in love with the hook. Like, the hook, I think I'm the hook and the synths on it, like dun 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 dun. It kind of, after a while becomes, overbearing sometimes. But that flow that he has, we're going back in time, I like to see you try. Like, unpacking thoughts through the tunnels in your mind. Like I love. That's a bar. Hold up. We're going back in time. I'd like to see. We're going back in time. I'd like to see you try unpacking thoughts through your tunnels in your mind. The way he says that, it reminds me. I'm a sucker for just great harmonies and flows and records. So if he could have said anything, but just that dun 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 dun, like that part is just like, oh shit, that's dope. Like it's one of those things. I'm washing the dishes, I hear that in my head kind of thing. I love catchy flows and things of that nature. But if I were to take anything from that song, it's that, and it doesn't take anything away from the song at all. Not that it's like not one of my favorites on it. It's just that flow is so dope. And the production is crazy on there too. Speaking of production, Jesus Christ, we going to Take My Breath, right? And I think that was people in my comments say that song was released already. So as a single, I thought this album didn't have any singles the way that text message thread he released came out. But anyway, Take My Breath. I love that record so much because that production is so fucking off the fucking charts. It's so, and it reminds me of some Mike Jack type stuff. Like even his vocals, he hitting some Michael notes on there. Even it's like off the wall to me, which is probably my favorite Michael Jackson album. But I'm in love with how in today and time artists are actually letting the music breathe and not just singing. And like, you know how songs nowadays just sound so factory. Like you could tell drop, hook, verse, bridge, hook. Like it's so it's down to a science so much that there's no life in it. Take My Breath is one of those records that I could tell they were just having fun. Before I move even further, some of the producers, Max Martin, Benny Bonk, Brian Kennedy, Bruce Johnston, Calvin Harris, Dehila, Giddy, OPN, Oscar Halter, Swedish House Mafia, Tommy Brown. It's just, I had to give a shout out to all those producers because this album is fucking amazing, and I think every producer showed up and did their fucking job. Back to Take My Breath. That's just fucking insane the way he let that ride, and then that goes into Sacrifice. Like it's so seamless. When I was listening to it the first time, I didn't even know certain songs changed, and that's what I appreciate about this album because I love, and I'm rambling, right? But I love about like 60s music and like 70s music, right? For the most part, is that it allowed transitions. Like it wasn't just a song, and nothing has to do with each other. We're gonna make this album cohesive, and that's what he did. And Sacrifice is probably one of my favorites on here as well. With the I Want to Thank You, Heavenly Father, Alicia Maya sample. And the way he even flipped it and he wrote it in the hook. He says, I don't want to sacrifice for your love, I'll try. And then he does that, like, just crazy. And it just goes back to that groove with that guitar. That very Michael Jackson-esque, right? And one thing I didn't like, this is one of the things I didn't like. The video, I felt like, was too... Even though some shots I did feel they were paying homage to Mike and off the wall, but I felt like the video itself, it was kind of like stereotypical because like the song's called Sacrifice, he's a sacrifice. Like it's like, I get it, but for when you got a favorite song in a video or the artist's explanation doesn't line up with yours and it kind of fucks you up. That's what it was for me with Sacrifice. Going to Tell by Quincy, just short run through. Going to Tell by Quincy, and I thought it was great coming off that song that's so very Michael Jackson like to have the man himself who produced Mike, Quincy Jones, and he's underneath this album and all the sounds. Sidebar real fast. Underneath all that, I think it's a heartbreak album. What I come to realize, right? So you have these questions, like he's questioning himself. I don't want to sacrifice my time. You know what? Blah blah blah. He's saying like I don't want to sacrifice my time for your love or whatever. Right? Goes into the Quincy skit, and what's Quincy Jones talking about in the interlude? He's talking about how he could never fully love and taking care of his children, but was never fully loved. He still remembers his mom being taken away into a psych ward, and the mother is the rock of any child, especially a boy. Like mama's boys, and and he talks about how he had a wicked stepmom who basically fucked him up more. And it's funny at the end of it, he says like it's fucked, it's funny reminiscent, or is some shit like that, and that goes into, then it goes into Out of Time, which is just Out of Time is just so amazing. That Anita Baker feel to me, as soon as it comes on, it gives me also a new edition feel to it with the vocals itself, and it's just so dope. Give me one shot, just a little, like it's so fucking dope. But just that idea of being out of time, and pretty much losing the one that you love, or whatever one you're chasing at the moment. You know, with Weeknd, you never know who he's in love with. It gives me such a summer vibe to it. Spring, summer. It just feels good. Out of Time, it ends with the Jim Carrey, and I think that's like an end of an act to me when I listen to it. So to go into Here We Go Again, Here We Go Again featuring Tyler the Creator, dope record, man. Just amazing, the vibe of it, and it gives me that sense of that old Weeknd, the way that he's rapping on it. No effects on his voice or nothing. Like, that night was he said catalog look legendary. Like, I love when the Weeknd sings and that kind of rap thing and like pops his shit like that. That's the best Weeknd to me. Even him saying like we're still celebrating Super Bowls, I thought that was just dope. Even as he talks about my new girl's a movie star, to go to the Angelina Jolie reference, I would assume. But just the song is so celebratory to me. And Tyler's verse is cool. I'm pretty sure whoever is going to sign that prenup, though. Best Friends, which I think kind of blends off that, because he says, like, in Here We Go Again, he talks about, like, you didn't even expect to fall in love when you got this dick, or some shit like that, right? So to go into Best Friends, which anytime a song starts like that, smash. And I know in my live reaction I said it wasn't my favorite. I love it now, because you're my best friend now. That one has me in the car just like, I can't wait till it comes on, driving in the car, and it just fits the scenario, whatever I'm in. That song is just so dope. And then in classic Weeknd form, right, I think like the latter end is him losing the love. Like, is there someone else, right? And that one and Starry Eyes like bleed into each other so perfectly, right? So then we go into Every Angel Is Terrifying, which again I think is the great interlude. Is like 1,000 interludes in one. It reminds me of 90s, those old workout telemarket commercials that used to come on, or like GTA Vice City type shit, or even GTA now. And if you listen to like the radio stations and they do weird ads on it. Don't Break My Heart, which is another one that's just insane. I just want to see live. I know I said that before, but I just want to see it live. But again, that vocal performance he did on there, I just love that. I almost died in a disco tech, like, but I know you're right for me. Ecstasy, keep me coming back for more. Like that pattern of flow is just always gonna work. Like it's just like, it just works pop wise for some reason. I love the production on this song too. But Don't Break My Heart is crazy. Going to I Heard You Were Married, and that song is also fucking amazing. Like, I just love to see. Because to be truthfully honest, male R&B is like in the trash for me. Like, I just, compared to the women. And the women right now, last year, and I'm pretty sure it's going to lead into this year too, R&B were popping their shit. They were like, they're running it from this, from Jasmine Sullivan's to Summer Walker's to the Mariah the Sciences to Ari to SZA. Like, they're popping their shit and they're running their shit. And it's hard for guys to get in there. Like, their stories, they don't have enough depth to it anymore. It's just like so surface level. And the Weeknd cracked the surface on it. So when I hear songs like I Heard You Were Married, and I'm like, oh shit, why wasn't this song invented before from a guy's perspective? Like, that's what I thought. Like, why the fuck wasn't this done already? Like, it was an alley oop. It was right there. And have Lil Wayne come on there was like the icing on the cake. Less Than Zero, a record I think is just gonna destroy concerts. I just think it's gonna destroy concerts, especially when it heats up. It's gonna destroy. And then we ended with Phantom Regrets by Jim, and Jim Carrey getting his rap on. Jim Carrey spitting those bars on there in like a spoken word form. But I love that. I loved it. I love it. I love it. He has a line that says, like he closes it, in other words, you got to be heaven to see heaven, which is probably my favorite line. Yeah, that's going to be the best line right there. And I think it was the perfect way to just close the album, especially like, okay, now where's it lead us next? If, let's say Weeknd perishes this album, right? And the next album is like the rebirth in a way. What's that going to sound like? That's what I want to know. But forget all that. Let me get into my best songs. Gasoline, Sacrifice, I Heard You Were Married. Yeah, I go with that one. Worst song, go with Less Than Zero. I hate to pick one, but go with Less Than Zero. Even though I said it's still gonna be a big record in the concerts and everything else. It's just compared to everything else on here, it's probably the song I like the least. All right. Best line, I think it's the line I said with the Jim Carrey. You got to be heaven to see heaven. I think that sums up this whole album perfectly. As far as a rating, fucks given, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It's fucking classic. Like it's nothing bad about this album, from production to song structures to vocal performance to quality, song quality, and story. A1 on all across the boards. So that's it. But let's wrap this up though. In closing, when it comes to Weeknd, Dawn FM, man, I'm glad he dropped this album, man. This album is fucking incredible. Sorry, pardon my language, but I had to curse. This record is fucking incredible. I think it's, and you know what bugs me? All the people that's keep complaining about the sound in the 80s and it's not what I wanted and I wanted this and I wanted that and blah blah blah. Shut up and enjoy the music, man. Like I swear y'all will fucking, if Thriller dropped today, you will fucking find some way to criticize it. Like, enjoy the music for once. Just enjoy it, man. Like, if you can't tell the difference from where he went from the last album to this one, even though the retro 80s sound may be the underlying theme, but if it's a trilogy, you know why. Is this not great music? Like, you really listen to this and it makes me sad for humanity at some points. It's like, you listen to this and it's like, this is trash. Get this out of here. Like, what? This one? Like, I see why artists are so reluctant to drop shit, because y'all just pick it apart and destroy it and it'd be great. It's really great. Like, that's all I gotta say. In the Weeknd, man, you did your fucking thing on this one, man. Like, this took, like I said before, this album takes you to the ultra stratosphere of pop stardom. If you thought the Weeknd was already gone, he's far out now. Like, and it's kind of fucked up he don't submit his album for the Grammys no more, because this is the one. This is the one that he does the Michael Jackson spin on stage with Quincy. Like, this is the one to me. So that's it, man. You guys let me know in the comments, what's your favorite 3 songs on here? What do you think this album ranks in the Weeknd's discography? And don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. That's pretty much it, man. If you made it this far, go check out some of the other ones. That's all I got for now, man. And should I go back and review After Hours? Let me know in the comments. As always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.